You struggling? Oh. Alright, so what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Trent. We chilling. So a couple things wrong with the car. Depending on which video you get to see out of this one, you'll see the name of the title, but I'm gonna chalk it up to one intro. So I've already got my intake off, which literally just a flathead screwdriver. You get it out. Of course, I have an aftermarket, and I took the cover off and all that. But yes, I do need to clean everything in here. So a couple things. For one, whichever video you're gonna see, I'm gonna chalk it up right here to where you'll know which one it is. Don't get on my ass about my stick. The hydraulics went out. I need to buy it. And of course, I need to clean this whole engine bay. But while we're in here doing some other things, the car is gonna get some TLC. Like you heard in the intro, there's a couple things wrong with it. I'm gonna also do the belt, so hopefully I'll get to see that one too. All right, so as you've seen me talk about everything else with this and which one you're gonna see, this one being the belt, you can see she is chewed up. It's time for her to go. I got a new one. Let's see. There's your part number from Chevy. Of course, you know, had to get some shit from Chevy. I was gonna get it from O'Reilly's, but very simple to get it off. I'll show you what to do, because all you gotta do is just release the tensioner, pull the belt off. Just make sure to take note of the way the diagram goes for the actual belts itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way, and you'll be able to see a little better. All right, so real quick, flathead screwdriver. Go ahead and press this down. If I can get it. And usually I have a pick, but I don't have my pick on me, so let me just move this out the way real quick. As you can hear one of my buddies, Joaquin, in the background. This damn popping ass car. Come on now, Mr. Lock. Only if I had my picks. I don't even know where they are. So, there we go. So pull it back just enough. Push it down. You get it out. Unclip it. For the stock intake, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to be for you for the vent, but you know what, I'm just gonna set it out of the way. Just gonna move it over here, get it out of the way so I don't have to worry about it. We get the tools, and we'll go ahead and get this belt off. You want to make sure to unclip it here so she's not in the way. This really shouldn't be clipped right here. You can tip it out of the way. Just set everything so you're not messing anything up. All right, so for this, you're gonna need a 15mm socket. Either, you know, you could have a wrench, 15mm deep socket, or just a socket at all. And then come over here to your tensioner. And you definitely wanna look and take note of the way your pulley's actually going. You wanna take note of the way the pulleys are actually going. And, you know, because it comes over here, comes over from the actual tensioner itself, comes down into the water pump, comes back up to the actual power steering pump, which you can see, comes over, it goes down to the alternator. Once it comes down to the alternator, it comes back up to an idler pulley, back around to your actual crank. From the crank, it comes back up to your tensioner. So, a little bit of ways to note it. Usually, they have like a diagram right here, or right here. Sometimes they have them up on the hood, but this car doesn't have it, unfortunately. So, like I said, 15mm socket. Show you how to get that off real quick. So you're gonna go ahead and slip it on to your tensioner. Take the tension off of it. There's not much to relieve. Pull it off. Release the tension. Boom. Just like that. Unfold it. Take her off. Just peel it off. Of course, I've got a little bit of room because, of course, I don't have my coolant hose back on. As y'all see, and if you were watching the next video or the other video, throw that out of your way. Grab your new one out. Of course, this is a lot more easier for me. And I'm not saying, you know, go take your coolant hose off. No, definitely not saying that, because whatsoever. But I like to see we took off the belt and the actual parts number was right where I could see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and redo that and get the belt back on the way it was. So what I like to do is I always like to go down to the crank, pull it back up because I know for a fact once it gets on the crank and my lower pulleys, I can see all of the upper pulleys and actually work with them on the way they need to be orientated or if anything needs to be adjusted. Because you definitely want to make sure you're not running your belts, you know, messed up, anything like that, so to say, as in, you know, it's off a thread and you're messing it up, you know, whatnot. You don't want to do that. You definitely don't want to have to replace it after you just bought a new one. I know they won't warranty it out, whatnot, but so you just want to make sure she's equal all the way around. Make sure it's just back in the, you know, the way it looked on the last one. And go ahead and get your 15mm socket. Make sure to get it around to where you could actually get the hose on. Or not the hose, but the actual, pull the belt back on. Put your tensioner down. And just like that, just make sure everything's set in place. And once she's tight, she's all back on. I like to go back around, feel everything, you know, just make sure she's good, snugged back up in there. She's straight on every dimension you could actually get it. There's no ribs, you know, sticking out, coming over. But other than that, once I get everything buttoned back up, I'll show you. Belt's good, everything will be good. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next thing and we'll come back. So real quick, I'm gonna get everything buttoned up. I'll show y'all, you know, really, I don't think it's necessary for the, you know, the cool air intake, whatever, the cold air intake. I will show you though, this definitely needs to go back on here. I don't know why they have such a big clip here. I don't know, you know, it might have gone to something actually for on the stock radio, the stock intake, whatever. But I know this definitely went on there to where it actually sat. Damn bugs. But clip, don't forget about it. Don't forget about your retaining clip, your lock. Don't forget about that. You definitely want that on there. So you want to make sure. Now, I will say, putting this back on, we'll go ahead and get that set up and I'll show y'all. Not really show y'all, but let me get this back together and I'll be back with y'all. Alright, so as you saw, I got all that buttoned up. Little clip left. Clipper on. Make sure to push that in. Make sure it's locked, which it is. That's locked all down. Everything's back on. Make sure your throttle body connector, everything you took apart is connected. Now, my intake is cleaned. While I had it off, I just cleaned it. So, went ahead and took care of that. So, I make sure the car is in neutral, and I could actually should be able to remote start it. I'll make sure the car is in neutral. Let's see. Hopefully it'll actually start. No start error. That's because the hood's open. So, it doesn't want to remote start. So let me just start it normally, get it all started, get it set up. Now while we're here, I'll make sure there's no leak. Of course, she's gonna run a little bit. She hasn't ran in a while. Like that, car is car's done. Everything's back together. New belts installed. Of course, I had to go to Chevy for it, but it's all right. Got it done. Got it installed. I will throw the part number below in the actual link or the description, and take care of it. But other than that, a couple things dawned on me. I sit back and I think, of course, I own my own company. I sit back and I think, working still 40-hour work week, doing a bunch of things, where can I do to improve, and what can I do to improve myself, and, bring the best light to me and bring the best light to the others that are around me. I could shine brighter than everybody and actually, give them hope in a scenario where, they don't have hope. But, I always look at different things, and I always think, where can I help others improve on things? And with that, I look forward to, not necessarily failing, but, failure is what I have to do to, if I fail, failure is what I have to do to make myself succeed. I learn from my mistakes, and I can turn around and go, hey, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend it because I failed from that. So, always look at life in a better light, and a better part of you, to where you could improve on yourself and improve on others. Always think forward. Don't ever think about the past. I mean, you could think about the past and reflection of, hey, I did that, and that was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. But you look at the future and think where you could actually improve and provide better. That's where you got to focus on. But until then, I'll catch y'all guys next time. Next video should be coming out next Wednesday. Like I said, I'm going to be dropping videos every Wednesday. Got a bunch more stuff coming. Of course, I'm working on my house. Weather's crappy in Texas right now, so a couple of things are a little bit rocky. But till then, hit that like button, subscribe. Peace out. Catch y'all next time.